Hello Guam, my name is Mike Cruz. I'm Lieutenant Governor of Guam. I'm also a physician or a surgeon and also a soldier, Guam Army National Guardsman. And as you know, my partner and I, Jim, and I are running for the office of Governor and Lieutenant Governor. I'm just a kid that grew up in the South, grew up in the village of Agate. My mother is Filipina, my father is Chamorro. Grew up with very humble beginnings. My father was a high school dropout who decided that he was going to go with his friends and his buddies to the Korean War. He had to come back to Guam and get his GED to be able to get his high school degree. But he eventually went on to getting his master's in public health administration and was one of the last administrators of GMH before he lost his accreditation. I grew up in a very small 2-bedroom trailer house. 2 beds, we had 1 bunk bed that my brother and I shared the top of, and my 2 sisters shared the bottom. And so all 4 of us kids basically grew up in 1 room until we moved to a bigger house later on. But having those humble beginnings, I went through both public and private school to become a surgeon, to become a doctor. I think I'm the first ever board certified surgeon of Chamorro ancestry. I'm also the first ever fellow of the American College of Surgeons of Chamorro ancestry. And as a lot of you know, I'm a United States Army Colonel in the Guam Army National Guard, and I've deployed 3 times. Most recently, just got back from Afghanistan about 6 months ago for a combat tour there. But today we're in front of you because we have decided that we would offer us up, so to speak, as your next governor and lieutenant governor.
My name is Jim Espaldon, and of course I am running with Mike Cruz, very proudly and very honored to be doing that. Many of you know me. If not me, then you know my brothers, my sisters, or my parents. I was actually born in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm of Filipino ancestry. I'm a full-blooded Filipino. However, I've been on Guam since 1963, 48 years now, and I know of no other home. I've been here since 1st grade, went through Tumunay Elementary, then went on to Cathedral Grade School, finished off my high school education at Father Duenas, and then went off to the States and got my degrees back there. I am an attorney right now, but even more than that, I mean, when I look back at myself, I don't really keep me defined in the confines as an attorney, because really I'm very proud also of the fact that I've worked many different jobs. I've been everything from a dishwasher to a waiter to a store clerk to a janitor. I mean, you know, I had a little business of my own. I was an entrepreneur with a small restaurant. Many of you might remember it, White Sands in East Agana. I worked in the tourism industry, so I have a lot of background basically that mirrors what a lot of people in Guam are doing right now as well. So I understand, I have a good understanding of the everyday challenges that the everyday person goes through. And this is part of what we definitely bring to the table as your candidates for governor and lieutenant governor. We're just regular Guam boys, if you will, who really know that with all the changes coming, that the leadership of the island is definitely going to be a very important decision that you're going to have to make about who's going to lead us into the future.
You know, right now we are sort of at a defining moment in our island's history. As you know, this military buildup, as they call it, I like to call it a Guam buildup, is going to happen whether we like it or not. And so it's going to need our responsible and credible leadership to be able to ensure that the quality of life of our people is going to be better and not for the worse because of this buildup. And so we think that this election now is really an election about leadership and whether or not you can trust the leadership that is before you to do what's right for all of us as a people, and not just for a select few and for the privileged few. And so, you know, you have for the first time a team that's going to include two professionals, both a physician as myself and a lawyer. And I think that we make the best team to be able to stand up and against our neighbors and our partners, the federal government, to ensure that we take care of the quality of life issues that are important for all of us, all the everyday people, all the everyday heroes that are out there, because that's basically who we are. We're just one of us. We're one of you.
And that's why one of the central themes that Mike and I speak to as we go out and meet you in the community is really about unity of this island. Because if we don't break down the walls that divide us presently, we won't be able to move forward together collectively. And that really is the objective, is to make sure that throughout this build-up, the whole community benefits. and to be able to do that again. We know it's going to be a difficult task, but it starts with the leadership at the top. If we can tear down walls, say for example, between the administration and the legislature, really start working well together, because we recognize the fact that as elected leaders, as you elect us, both the administration and the legislature, you really expect us to work together for everybody's benefit, as opposed to have personal, individual agendas, and it seems to go nowhere sometimes. So that's going to be one of the major tasks at hand, is really how do we tear down the walls that divide us? How do we bring ourselves much closer, all the various segments in this community, so that we do have everybody's input on how we best move forward for the good of our island and good for the generations to come.
And we understand that there are many choices out there, and there are 2 other teams running for the office that we're seeking. But what we're hoping is that you give us a good look in the eye and you come hear our hearts. And I think that if you do it honestly and with all sincerity, and you do that with the other teams, hopefully you'll find out that it is with absolute genuineness and sincerity and a genuine love of this island and our people that Jim and I want to be your next leaders.
That really is our only motive, basically to bring what we have, share it with the rest of the island, because we know what's at stake. Our future and the future of other generations to follow is definitely on the line here, and we have a real concern about doing it right.
Thank you.
Thank you.